Do not judge me by my successes, judge me by how many times I fell down and got back up again. It always seems impossible, until it's done. Resentment is like drinking poison and then hoping it will kill your enemies. As I have said, the first thing is to be honest with yourself. You can never have an impact on society if you have not changed yourself. Everyone can rise above their circumstances and achieve success if they are dedicated to and passionate about what they do. I hate race discrimination most intensely, and in all its manifestations. I have fought it all during my life, I fight it now and will do so until the end of my days. I have never cared very much for personal prizes. A person does not become a freedom fighter in the hope of winning awards. When a man is denied the right to live the life he believes in, he has no choice but to become an outlaw. A good head and good heart are always a formidable combination. But when you add to that illiterate tongue or pen, then you have something very special. There is nothing like returning to a place that remains unchanged to find the ways in which you yourself have altered. I am not a saint, unless you think of a saint as a sinner who keeps on trying. Sometimes it falls upon a generation to be great. You can be that generation. We must use time creatively, and forever realize that the time is always ripe to do right. I like friends who have independent minds, because they tend to make you see problems from all angles. Man's goodness is a flame that can be hidden, but never extinguished. A nation should not be judged by how it treats its highest citizens, but its lowest ones. Great peacemakers are all people of integrity, of honesty, but humility. Success in politics demands that you must take your people into confidence about your views and state them very clearly, very politely, very calmly, but nevertheless state them openly. In some ways, it is easier to be a dissident, for then one is without responsibility. As I walked out the door toward the gate that would lead to my freedom, I knew, if I didn't leave my bitterness and hatred behind, I'd still be in prison. The brave man is not the one who has no fears, he is the one who triumphs over his fears. Men have different capacities and react differently to stress. But the stronger ones raised up the weaker ones, and both became stronger. We owe our children, the most vulnerable citizens in any society, a life free from violence and fear. Difficulties break some men but make others. No axe is sharp enough to cut the soul of a sinner who keeps on trying, one armed with the hope that he will rise even in the end. May your choices reflect your hopes, not your fears. Courage is not the absence of fear, it's inspiring others to move beyond it. One of the things I learned when I was negotiating was that until I changed myself, I could not change others. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. I am the master of my fate, I am the captain of my soul. Live life as though nobody is watching, and express yourself as though everyone is listening. To be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others. No one is born hating another person because of the color of his skin, or his background, or his religion. People must learn to hate, and if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love. For love comes more naturally to the human heart than its opposite. When people are determined, they can overcome anything. Forgiveness liberates the soul, it removes fear. That is why it is such a powerful weapon. You can start changing our world for the better daily, no matter how small the action. The greatest glory in living is not in falling, but in rising every time we fall. Courageous people do not fear forgiving, for the sake of peace. What counts in life is not the mere fact that we have lived. It is what difference we have made to the lives of others that will determine the significance of the life we lead. There is a universal respect and even admiration for those who are humble and simple by nature, and who have absolute confidence in all human beings irrespective of their social status. I learned that to humiliate another person is to make him suffer an unnecessarily cruel fate. Even as a boy, I defeated my opponents without dishonoring them. Subscribe my YouTube channel. Mayor Quotes.